This broadcast is copywritten by the SAGU Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the SAGU Sports Network consent is prohibited.
Welcome to beautiful Lumpkin Stadium here in Waxahachie, Texas. You are watching the SAGU Sports Network. I am Adam Ferguson, joined by my partner Tim Roberts. As always, Tim, how you doing?
Doing great. Beautiful day for football. Cannot wait for this matchup.
Beautiful, crisp, chilly day here for football.
It's almost like it's fall. You wouldn't believe it in Texas. We finally got fall. It only took to the end of October.
We have got the SAGU Lions, the 17th ranked SAGU Lions, taking on the Lyon College Fighting Scots today here in Waxahachie, again at Lumpkin Stadium. We're going to throw it down to Kristen Urban. She's going to tell us a little bit about this chilly weather that we got here on the field today. Kristen, what's it feel like down there?
Thanks, Adam. Nothing describes Texas more than the weather we've seen this week. It was in the 90s the other day and in the 30s this morning. Now, it's not looking to be too cold throughout today's game. Temperatures are looking to stay in the mid to upper 50s. What may affect our play is this wind. It's looking to stay over 10 miles an hour throughout this entire game. The guys are super hyped today, but honestly, they have been all week. We're on a 5-game winning streak, and we're really hoping to make it 6 today. That's all I have for you down here. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Kristen. There you have it. The weather, it's crazy.
Like you said, 90 to 30. You know what? I even saw some sleet yesterday. There was some mild sleet. It was 45 degrees. It was like 32 up in the clouds. So we literally had some wintry precipitation. None of that today, of course. It's a beautiful sunny skies. There is a little bit of a wind, so that can always factor into kicking. But you couldn't ask for a better day to play football as the Lions look to stay undefeated in Kieran Conference.
SAGU's got to be a little used to it after a big win against Oklahoma Panhandle. Up in the Panhandle, a little more cold weather last week.
It was a chilly game last week. It was a thrilling game last week. Hope you had the chance to check it out on the internet last week. It was a great road win. Lions come away with an 8-point victory. Had to really hang on, white knuckle in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Probably outside of the Arizona Christian win, their biggest win of the year, especially when you factor in the fact that it was on the road against another undefeated conference opponent.
And thinking about the game today against Lyon, of course, Lyon came into Waxahachie last year and beat SAGU.
Yes.
22-point fourth quarter, so it's got to feel like a little bit of a revenge game here for the Lions.
You know, I mean, and also just reminds you can't overlook any opponent. No. Lions coming in with only 3 wins on the season, 1 win in conference, but you can't overlook them because this team a year ago rallied in the fourth quarter, down 15 points and beat you. And beat you in overtime.
Absolutely. So in order to do that today, let's go through a little bit of what the SAGU Lions have to do to stop this Fighting Scots attack. And the first one is stop the run. The Lions defense was so good at the beginning of conference play to start the year, but it seems like teams have been able to run the ball a little bit more successfully on them. That's their first key today is stopping that running game.
We almost saw the shift happen against Wayland 2 weeks ago in the second half. Wayland's offense finally found some footing against the Lions. They've got to find a way, especially with some big games coming up, to get back to their old ways of shutting those offenses down.
And flipping it to the other side of the ball, SAGU, they got away from the running game last week. They had less than 60 yards on the ground with 2 running backs like J.P. Lowry and Ricky Bickham. You got to think that's how they want to set the tone.
Yeah, you're used to seeing both those guys go over 100, not to see the whole team held under 100. So especially cold weather, you know, the ball's harder to catch.
Yep.
Keep it on the ground.
Yep. And lastly, against a team like Lyon, who historically they run the ball, they like to run the ball on offense. If you can get your pass rush going like you did last week against OPSU, who played a little similar to what Lyon has historically played, they took advantage. They were able to sack the quarterback 4 times last week in the very few chances that they got. If they can do that today, you got to love their chances on defense.
Yeah, obviously you want them to feel uncomfortable. You want to take them out of their game plan. One way to do that, obviously, is put them down early to where they can't run.
Take us to the other side of the ball, Tim, the other sideline. Lyon, what did they have to do today to come away with a win against SAGU?
First things first, no 6-point mistakes. They have given up 5 defensive/special teams touchdowns this year. When you are giving the ball away like that or are letting a team come back on a punt or kickoff return, that is so devastating. And when you already know that the odds are against you today, you cannot afford to have one of those 6-point mistakes. Second, convert when it matters. So, I think a couple weeks ago saying win on first and second down, but you know what? The Scots are really good on third and fourth down. They're number 1 in the nation on fourth down conversions at 80%, and they're number 29 at third down conversions at 41.1. That's well above around the 27% that SAGU averages. So you may have to just get down in the trenches and make those big third and fourth down conversions today to keep your offense on the field. Lastly, just force every play. You know what? You are going up against the team that's tied for number 1 in the conference, a team that has real aspirations to win this conference. Leave it all out there on the field. Keep, look for the big plays. You have nothing to lose in this game. Force SAGU to really come at you. Force SAGU penalties. SAGU had nearly 200 yards in penalties last week against the Aggies up in the Panhandle. So force them to make those mental mistakes and commit penalties, keep you on the field, get them off the field. Like I said, just from the very beginning of the game, nothing to lose today. Just keep put it all out there.
And that is when a team can get really fun to watch, is when, like you said, they've got nothing left to lose. We could see some big punches thrown here at the beginning of the game by the Fighting
Scots.
Scots.
Why not? Onside kicks, fake punch, try it all. Why not? You've got a chance to really upend the conference standings today against the Lions. So I'd say throw it all out there.
It's going to be a fun one. We're going to hear from head coach Kyle Phelps, the head coach of Lyon College, with our sideline reporter Kristen Urban. Kristen, what does Coach Phelps have to do for his squad to come away with a win today?
Thanks, Adam. Coach Phelps, you're facing a strong opponent today. SAGU is on a 5-game winning streak. What's it going to take to shut down the Lions today?
Yeah, they are a tough football team, well coached by Coach Tristan, and we've got to shorten the football game. We have to keep our offense out there and control the time of possession. SAGU's got the top offense in the conference, and we just really got to keep them on the sideline and keep our offense out there.
How did you prepare your boys today for this road game?
We really didn't do anything different. We came in with a normal work week and, coming off a tough game we played last week, and just tried to do everything we could to get ready for them.
Thanks for your time, Coach Phelps. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you, Kristen. There you hear Coach Phelps, best offense in the conference for SAGU, and it's led by quarterback C.J. Collins, who has had a very good season so far. But last week against Oklahoma Panhandle, a couple of errant passes that were almost intercepted could have proved fatal for that very much needed win for the Lions. So look to him to have a bounce back week this week. Maybe light up the scoreboard a little bit, even though it's cold. We'll see. Jordan Coleman, also the defensive lineman, 2 interceptions in 2 weeks. The defensive lineman with 2 picks in 2 weeks is just an athletic freak. I heard that he worked out with other defensive linemen, senior Matt Leiter, all summer, and it's really upped his game to the level that he has been playing at. So it's a testament to the hard work of Coleman and the leadership of Matt Leiter. And lastly, Kobe Roach. Haven't called his name much this season, but he is going to be playing maybe that 4th linebacker spot today here for SAGU against a team that runs as much as Lyon does. Look for him to be filling that box today against this Lyon offense. Take us through some players here for the Fighting Scots.
3 key players today for the Scots. First of all, defensive back Xavier Story. He is number 9 in the nation in passes defended per game at 1.8, and he's also number 17 interceptions with 3. So you want to, keep on batting those balls down, keep CJ from having big success, turn the ball over a few times. Second, quarterback Cody Jones, only averaged around 172 yards per game. 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions this year, an even touchdown-interception ratio. Got to be better today. Last, running back Titus Nelson, over the last 3 games, 286 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's really starting to surge as the season wears on.
Now, this Lions team, high aspirations for a conference championship, which could lead to maybe a little bit of a playoff berth. Tim,
Playoffs? Let's talk about playoffs. Let's talk about playoffs.
What do the Lions have to do here to make the playoffs?
Well, it's the first time we've had to really discuss this with this SAGU football program. That's how amazing this 2017 season has been. It's been groundbreaking. So we've had to really kind of learn, how do the playoffs work in the NAIA? So here's some education for you. The NAIA playoffs are a 16-team field. So it is a big field, not that 4-team field you see in the NCAA. A lot of teams can get in and compete. It begins on November 18th. It ends on December 16th out in Daytona Beach, Florida for the NAIA National Championship.
A little warmer.
That'd be pretty nice on December 16th to be there. How do you get an automatic bid? Well, there's 12 possible automatic bids. It's simple. If you are a conference champion in the top 20, you are in automatically. So SAGU's already in the top 20. If they win the conference, they will be in the playoffs at this point. They can't be denied. Last year, there were 10 automatic bids because not every conference champion was ranked in the top 20. Good example of that, Langston was ranked number 21. They were the CSFL champion, but they were 1 spot out. So what teams usually make it? Well, last year, 15 of the 16 teams that made it were the top 15 teams. The only outlier was number 20 Southeastern, who was a conference champion. So they were the only team outside of that 16. Yep. So how do you get in that large bid? Well, you have to be in the top 16, and you have to hope there aren't too many conference champion outliers between 17 and 20. So could SAGU be an at-large bid as well? Is that possible? Well, it's going to take a big win today and a big win against Bacone, assuming you were to lose to Langston.
Yes.
And you just don't want to tempt that. You don't want to tempt that fate when your first real trip into the top 25. SAGU controls its own destiny now. If they win the next 3, they cannot be denied a playoff spot. They could rise as high as 8, potentially host a playoff spot, which is huge. I mean, so they control their own destiny at this point, and they still have a shot. I would say they still have a shot. Let's say they lose by 1 to Langston, like Arizona Christian just did. They lost by 1 to Langston and didn't drop a spot in the polls. It has to start today, though, with a big win over Lyon to keep that push towards the playoffs. But it's very much alive. This is not a pipe dream at all. This is very, very real. The Lions could very easily be playing a playoff game on November 18th.
Huge implications for this week against the Fighting Scots, and of course next week against the Langston Lions. If you haven't already, go ahead and give us a follow or a like on all of our social media platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything to keep you updated on all SAGU sports news, not just football. Volleyball, who's been playing very well, hoping to host a playoff game. A huge volleyball season for Coach Morin this season. So go ahead and give us a follow on all of our social media outlets, and we will keep you updated to the minute with SAGU Sports News. We're going to throw you down to the field for the coin toss and then the opening kickoff, as well as the national anthem and opening prayer right here on the SAGU Sports Network. Lyon, the Fighting Scots, taking on your SAGU Lions, again, right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Line call.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lumpkin Stadium in Waxahachie, Texas, for today's contest between the SAGU Lions and the Scots of Lyon College. At this time, we would ask everyone to stand, remove your hat, and join us in the invocation to be given by Vice President Dr. Kim Berniker.
Father, we praise you for the opportunity to be here today, to watch these amazing young men display the gifts and talents you have given them. Reward them today for their hard work and practice by helping them to shine on the field and play their best. We thank you, Father, for football and the privilege of living in America where we can enjoy the competition of this sport. We know that even in football, the division, hurt, and offense in our nation is sometimes evident. And we ask you, Father, in the name of Jesus, to heal our land. Psalms 119 reminds us that great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. Help us to reach out to one another in love and have compassion for those who have been hurt or offended, and help us not to be offended by anything. Lord, we ask that your love would be displayed on the field today. Help each player to represent you well, to play with strength, courage, and endurance, and reach their fullest potential. We ask for protection for all the players. Help them to have fun today and make great memories. Give wisdom to the coaches and be glorified in the stadium. Please give us a safe, thrilling, positive, and fun game. We ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
And now, please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America, performed by SAGU student Derek Borden.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
There you have it. SAGU has deferred to start the game, meaning they will get the ball in the second half and start the game on defense, which is what we've seen them do all season long. They really like to set that tone on the defensive side of the ball.
And you know what I realized? That means they've been winning like all of their coin tosses. They have got a great strategy out there. We got to ask Coach Tristan at some point, is it tails never fails or heads for the win? Because they keep on winning these coin tosses and they keep deferring. It has paid off just about every time, getting that early game stop and able to, you know, go into the half knowing you get the ball that second time. You see C.J. Collins warming up on the sideline, literally for once.
Absolutely.
Actually, literally warming up on the sideline, as it will be a game in the mid-40s. We do have some cloud cover overhead now, so it's definitely chilled out a little bit. Strong wind coming across the field from west to east, so left to right on your screen. So the Lions will be kicking with the wind at their back to start the game. And they have been dominant in the first quarter these last, well, really since they've got on this roll. So ever since they've got on this winning streak, they have done a good job of creating early separation between them and their opponents.
Of course, as always, Talong Humong out to kick for the Lions, affectionately known by coaches and teammates as TH, has had a very successful season, not only kicking off, but extra points and field goals as well. He's been as good as you could hope for from a new kicker.
For a fresh face on this team, he has done a very good job of when he is needed. Luckily, he hasn't been needed too much in the clutch yet, but that could change over the next few weeks.
We will see. He is kicking with the wind at his back. Will he try to put it out of the back of the end zone? It is a long one. It's going to be brought in at the goal line, and returning is Lyon. He's looking for some room up the middle. He's got it. He's past the 30, out past the 35. Good return to start the game, and if you're Lyon College, that's exactly what you want to do from Josh Abel.
And that might have been a touchdown-saving tackle by the Lions there. It was number 33, Darian Carter, who made the tackle. If he doesn't get a hold of him, he's going to get at least 10, 15 more yards. It might have been him versus TH at around the 50 to decide whether or not he's going to go. So good start for Lyon, setting up with much better field position than the standard touchback would be. Initially, they marked him around the 38, and now they're going to change the hash and put him at the 38-yard line. So quarterback Cody Jones comes onto the field.
Good field position here for the Fighting Scots. Jones with 2 men in the backfield with him, 2 out wide to his left. In the shotgun, sends his man in motion. Another man in motion, a lot of motion here on offense. The snap, and he's just going to hand it off around that right side, looking for some running room, and he's got about 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry. That is Titus Nelson, one of your players to keep an eye on here for Lyon.
He's coming to his own lately. At the beginning of the play, they put David Knight up at the front just to kind of create an easier blocking package, and they will pick up 4 or 5 yards. Will be second and just about 6, actually, so around 4 yards.
Brought down by Jordan Hall, one of the young, talented, up-and-coming linebackers for Coach Tristan in this defense. Just a freshman starting for this Lions. Very good defense that they've had so far this year. Sends his man in motion again to that right side. Yet some more motion here. That is David Knight in motion. The snap, handing it off again, and up the middle is the running back. He's going to get a first down. A good job to follow his blockers and pick up that first down in Titus Nelson.
Almost the exact same play. You bring that up at the front to kind of create that heavy blocking package. Does a good job of creating that hole. Nelson runs a little bit off tackle up to the 50-yard line. So quick 13 yards on 2 runs for Titus Nelson. And Lyon is right at midfield.
And we have seen the Lions defense be very good at times against the run this year. But right now, Lyon finding the holes is Nelson. Sending him in motion. He's going to hand it off around the edge, looking for some room, but he's gobbled up quickly by a host of Lions tacklers. That was the receiver that time, Josh Abel, taking it around the end and picking up just about a yard past the 50.
Yep, and it's going to be Jordan Hall who comes around and makes the complete tackle. And this is where the Lions defense has excelled. They've given up a lot of yards on the opponent's end of the field, but once they get into their territory, they have buckled down all year long. So we'll see how they respond now as Lyon is at the SAGU 49-yard line.
Here we see Jones with 3 out wide to his right. In the shotgun, he is back to pass for the first time this game. Looking deep across the middle, he finds his tight end past the sticks for a first down. Jonathan Hendricks, that senior tight end, picks up a first down for the Fighting Scots.
It's going to be a textbook great tight end pattern. He's going to run down the field, set up in his little bubble. Good identification by Jones to see that he was wide open. Falls down to the 36-yard line, and the Scots are in business early on.
1st and 10 as Jones now comes out. 2 split wide, 1 on either side. 2 men in the backfield. There goes Hendricks. And another man in motion over here to the left. Takes the snap and hands it off again to Nelson. Runs into his blockers, trying to look for some room, but SAGU swallows him up quick, but he gets 4 yards on that carry. Another good first down carry from this Lions offense.
The Scots are doing a great job up front because it didn't look like a very attractive run there, but they just did such a good job of winning up front. David Knight is the one leading the way right now, the fullback. If you see him go into motion to that section, that's where they've been running right behind Knight so far. Now look for that to maybe change on one of these upcoming plays. You limit misdirection as the SAGU defense starts to figure out that's exactly what they want to do. Same setup, and Knight goes into motion again.
1 receiver this time, a heavy package for Lyon. It's a quarterback keeper all the way, trying to follow his block, and coming up for the tackles, Kobe Roach. And it's going to be 3rd, and they're going to give him an extra yard here and move the chains. It looked like maybe he was going to be spotted short but they end up giving him that last yard.
He's going to be able to roll just out. Looks like he got just enough to get down to the 26-yard line for a first down, and there's that misdirection we were talking about. After 3 straight handoffs, he put Knight into motion, and this time it's a what almost seemed to be an option play, but one that there was never really an option. It was the quarterback following Titus Nelson up the middle.
Jones sends his man in motion again. That is Hendricks. Still in the shotgun, sends his Abel in motion again. He's going to pitch it out to him. And the edge was set, but he cuts it up inside and picks up 3 on first down. Going to make it about 2nd and 7. The edge was set by the D lineman that time for the Lions, but he just did a good job of cutting it back up inside.
Yeah, he just escapes the outstretched arms right there of Aiden Estrada. If he had got a hold of him, would have thrown him for a significant loss, but instead it's more positive yardage for the Scots. They have been putting together positive yardage on every play so far this drive.
2nd and 7, 3 receivers wide this time for Jones in this offense. Sends Abel in motion again, fakes a handoff, he's back to pass. The Lions bring pressure, and a pass to the end zone is well out of bounds. One-on-one coverage between Carl Morgan and Trent Webb, the senior receiver versus the senior corner. And Carl Morgan comes out on top this time.
Morgan didn't give him an inch to breathe at all there. Very good coverage. A little bit of pressure up the middle here. Probably forces the throw a little bit soon and throws it a little bit off target to where the receiver had no chances. The ball was a good 4 or 5 yards out of bounds. So now a big 3rd and 7 here, especially with the wind at your face. Not exactly field goal range at the moment, I would say. This would be a 40-yard field goal straight into the wind. So maybe that's what this timeout by Lyon is going to be about.
They may be drawing up 2 plays here. Again, as Lyon has their first charge timeout of the game.
And this is a big moment early on, as after SAGU defers, Lyon takes over their own 37, and they have put together a very impressive offensive drive. But if you come away with no points on this drive, it's going to feel very hollow. You need to find a way to pick up this first down. And we talked about this pregame, how good they can be on 3rd and 4th down. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what this timeout was, saying, hey, if you don't, reminding Cody Jones, try to pick up the first down. But if there's nothing there in the 9-10 yard range, go ahead and pick up 4 or 5 because we need to go ahead and go for it on 4th down.
You think we might see a draw here on 3rd and 7? Try to catch. They've been running the ball well.
They've been running the ball pretty well, and they do have this. They have their fullback out there. David Knight is on the edge, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if we do see maybe an option run in this situation.
Back in the shotgun, more like a pistol here for Cody Jones. He's going to take the snap and hand it off. But he is stopped for about a yard, maybe 2, by the stout Lions defense. And it looks like they are going to send out the kicking unit to try to get their 3.
Maybe that 3 or 4 yards is enough to make them more confident, but a good stop by SAGU. They didn't fall for the draw at all. They read it from the very beginning. Even though 3rd and 7 is usually a passing down, they were very safe on the draw. Ignacio Gomez comes out for what's going to be about a 38-yard field goal.
The kick is up, the snap was down, it's good, and the kick is good. A good job of Gomez to get the first points of the day, and that's exactly what you want to do if you're a team coming in who's heavily the underdog against this SAGU Lions team. Lions defer, and the Scots come down and get some points.
It was a very impressive drive. Like I said, the only thing that went wrong was the one incomplete pass that kind of put you behind the chains. You have to settle for the field goal, but not a bad way to start this game off at all. Imposing some of your will on the ground. That's what we talked about pregame, is how the Lions have to be, better on their defensive run game. That they were so good early on, and this, kind of stumbled lately. And the Scots come out early on, kind of impose their will. Essentially get almost everything on the ground on that drive. It was pretty much the one completion from Jones to Hendricks to convert down to around the 33-yard line. Other than that, it was pretty much all Titus Nelson and a run by Cody Jones himself. And it gives Lyon the early 3-0 lead here with around 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Gomez to do the kicking duties here on the kickoff. Back to return are the typical trio, Carl Morgan, Malik Golden, and Ricky Bickham. The kick from Ignacio is up. It's going to be fielded by Morgan at about the 12. Bobbled, but he's now looking for some room. He's got Golden in front of him. Carl Morgan making some men miss. He's past the 40. Can he cut it back inside? He gets it past the 50 and about 3 or 4 yards more. Carl Morgan starting the Lions with terrific field position.
This is pure identification from the moment he catches the ball. He runs to the far end of the field. He has to run so far, but he knows where his blockers are. He sees what's developing there, just keeps on threading his way through the pretty much the cavalry of blockers he has all around him. Across midfield, he's going to be marked out at the Lion 46-yard line. So C.J. Collins and the Lions offense couldn't ask for much better field position. And they're going to come out with 5 wide and C.J. in shotgun. An interesting start to the game here for the Lions offense.
Bickham and Lowry both remain on the sideline. Again, 5 wide, empty set. Collins back to pass. Quick hitter to Donovan John. He makes a man miss. Can he get past the first down marker? He does. Carries a couple defenders with him for 2 more yards. And the Lions, much like we saw a couple weeks ago, some quick hitters trying to get down the field.
This is the exact way they started the game against Wayland, coming out with these without a running back and just throwing these quick passes, see what they can do. That's a quick gain down to the 33-yard line.
Collins still in the empty set. Shotgun. 5 wide, he's back to pass. Looking short again, finds Roderick Brown. Brown hauls it in for about 4. We're gonna set up a 2nd and 6 for the SAGU offense.
And what we saw last time when they did this, they just kept doing it until it finally failed, and then J.P. Lowry came off the bench.
We saw them do this and then take a shot downfield where Collins overthrew a guy a couple of times. At this point in the field, they might be setting it up for maybe the next drive.
Good coverage on the linebacker there to prevent that from being any bigger of a gain.
Collins fakes one way, looking back to Justin Allen, and Allen drops it. That's going to bring up 3rd and long.
That's been a problem with this receiving core. As big of a playmakers as all these guys are, and they've all had their moment in the sun this year, there have been a lot of problems with drops, especially on these screen patterns, which are supposed to be the easiest ones. But I think they get in their heads too soon because they know they have to catch it and run, and they're already turning. And we've seen Roderick Brown and Justin Allen and all these guys just drop way too many of those.
3rd and 7 from the 30. Collins back to pass. Looking for Allen. It's almost intercepted.
That's Xavier Story. Mentioned him pregame. He almost came up with a huge pick there. And the Lions drive stalls out quickly after a big play on the first play of the drive. And they are going to bring out their kicking team, I believe, to try, well, actually they're set up kind of in an awkward punt, like a short punt situation here.
They were just waiting for the holder. Romeo Balboa just hadn't found his way in the field yet.
I was trying to figure out what's going on here. Balboa doesn't get the memo that they're going for the field goal. This is going to be a long one.
And they're rushed a little bit. TH's kick, it's going to come up short from 47 as the Lions were forced to rush that kick. Maybe Hamunk couldn't get ready in time to get that kickoff, and it comes up about a yard short.
That was definitely not a good look right there. Not getting the holder on the field. I was baffled because it looked like they were going to kick the field goal, seeing TH go out there, but then there was no holder, and they have to snap the ball with about 2 or 3 seconds left on the play clock. A little bit of miscommunication, and after they start on the Lion 46-yard line, they come up empty-handed after a couple of quick incompletions, and Lyon has the ball back now with good field position again at the 30-yard line.
Jones sends a man in motion, fakes a handoff, and he pitches it behind him. Looking to get it outside, cutting it back up inside, but there's Jordan Hall again, stopping Josh Abel for no gain.
Yeah, it's going to be Hall with the initial contact. They try to spread out the field, and the Lions defenders just keep the man in front of them. They don't fall for any of the moves. Jordan Hall lays the initial hit. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Jordan Hall's been all over the field to start this game. Doing a good job of not over pursuing is Jordan Hall. Again, no gain for the Fighting Scots as they are now at 2nd and 10. And Hall now, or Jones with 3 to his right, sends Hendricks in motion. Takes the snap, he's back to pass again. Pressure, steps up in the pocket, he's gonna tuck it and run. And he has got enough for the first down, but he fumbles, but they're gonna call him down.
Pretty sure the ground caused that fumble. He escapes the pressure. It's Matt Leiter coming in on the left side. He finally steps up in the pocket. Nobody's open, but at that point, his offensive line has cleared everybody out of the way, and he picks up an easy 14 yards for the first down.
Cody Jones doing a good job of recognizing nobody open. Again, steps up, good pocket presence, tucks it and run, and gives the Scots a first down.
That's his second run for a first down in this early game.
Sends a couple of men in motion. Hands it off, up the middle. Here is Nelson breaking a couple arm tackles, and he's going to pick up about 7 on the first down carry and another big first down play.
And it's all happening behind David Knight, coming in motion right to the front. They just run to wherever he is. So far, no deception really in this Lion offense. They have just been running right through the teeth of the SAGU defense.
2nd and 3 now as they get it just past midfield into Lions territory at the 49-yard line. Cody Jones, 2 men in the backfield, sends Knight in motion again. Here's the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, back to pass. He's going deep down the middle. There's a ton of Lions there. Elijah Pruitt could not track that one down. It looked like he over-adjusted and just couldn't come back for it.
There's a strong wind in that direction. I think Pruitt ran to where the ball usually would have been. Doesn't double back in time. That could have been an easy interception for Pruitt. Just goes through his hands just a little bit too short. That's one of those times as a quarterback, you're glad the pass wasn't more accurate. Had it been a little bit more accurate, it's interception. Luckily, it was less accurate than it could have been. And you avoid the interception. Brings up a big 3rd and 3, bringing a man in motion to the middle of the field.
And again, this is where Lyon has been successful all season.
They call their second timeout. So
already.
The Scots, I think they really understand the early importance of this game. As everything's gone their way so far, they go and get the field goal to start the game off. Their defense starting the game off with their backs against the end zone almost, starting on their own 46, comes with a quick stop and missed field goal. And now you have an opportunity to pick up a big 3rd down, keep this drive alive, potentially go down, score a touchdown, really make this thing interesting, really make the Lions start to sweat here early on. So Lyon not being stingy with their timeouts at all in the early going of this one.
Both drives so far for Lyon, they have called their timeout on a big 3rd down, looking to maybe draw up a play and get a conversion. It shows you how seriously they take these situations. They want this extra time to talk it over and figure out what they're going to do.
Big score update here as we look at the NAIA. Number 9 Georgetown leading number 20 Campbellsville 17-13. We'll keep you updated with all the big games as, of course, SAGU, ranked number 17, is keeping their eyes on the scoreboard.
Jones is going to hand it off around the edge, and he gets stopped a yard short of the first down marker. Josh Abel took that end around from Cody Jones.
And it looks like the tackle is going to be made by number 17, Aiden Estrada. Brings up a 4th and 1, and I do not see the Scots offense coming off the field. No, Cody Jones is staying. They're the number 1 team in the NAIA on 4th down conversions. Can they convert another right here?
A heavy set here for Jones in this offense. They are running all the way, and he is stopped at the line, but he pushes forward, and the surge gives the Scots a first down on 4th and 1. Still in Lions territory.
Nothing fancy about that. Just put everybody on the line, hit them hard, and drive it forward for just enough to get that first down to the SAGU 45. So they do convert the big 4th downs, reach the 5.5-minute mark in the first quarter. The Lions' run game is clicking.
Jones still in shotgun, says Knight in motion. Takes a snap, and he's going to keep it himself again. We've seen this work in the first drive, but this time sniffed out by Matt Leiter, coming from the opposite side and tracking that one down.
Chasing him down, not letting, and that's actually Josh Sierra taking that carry, not Cody Jones. Josh Sierra comes in for that play. Yeah, Matt Leiter hustling the whole way, getting blocked. Taking the backup quarterback down. Josh Sierra is the backup quarterback for the Scots.
Cody Jones back in the game now for the Fighting Scots. He's got 3 out wide to his right, 1 to his left, 1 running back in the backfield. That is, of course, Titus Nelson. Sends a man in motion. into that slot. Here is Jones. He drops back to pass, looking to the left. One-on-one coverage again, looking for his receiver on that left side, and Carl Morgan again suffocating coverage, looking for Trent Webb.
Just no separation at all. Carl Morgan is playing man-to-man on the line there at the 45-yard line and runs step for step with him for 30 yards. No separation at all created. Doesn't let him get back into the field of play to get a chance at that pass. So now a 3rd and 10 at the 45 after Lyon gambled and got the 4th and 1. You really want to keep this drive alive if you're the Scots offense.
Jones in the shotgun. He found Hendricks on his only pass completion earlier on in the first drive, and it was a first down. He's back to pass again, bobbles the snap, and he's going to get brought down by that Lions pressure. They only brought 4, but that coverage was so good that Paul Ellis gets in there and gets the first sack of the day for the Lions.
He did it without a shoe. His shoe is going to come flying off right here, and he takes the quarterback down. Big sack on 3rd down, 8-yard loss to bring the punt unit on and stop what had been a steadily advancing Scots drive, finally finding an answer with that offensive line that's really been abusing you so far in this game.
Sam Northey back to return this kick for the Lions, and the kick is up. Northey settles underneath it, no fair catch, and he's going to get taken out right away inside the 20-yard line. And you got to think maybe he was better off taking a fair catch there, but regardless, the Lions take over inside their own 20.
And you talked pregame about how the Lions defense, since the Scots will be running a lot, whenever they throw, they need to be able to come up with those big plays. That's only around the 4th or 5th pass we've seen all game, and they get the big sack. Looking at some other games around here again, that's that Georgetown game up in the top left, and that is going to be OPSU and Langston down the bottom right there are apparently at halftime. As they got the band on the field. Lions take over at their own 17-yard line.
Collins this time hands it off. Here is Ricky Bickham. Bickham looking for some running room. Can't find any. He's brought down for no gain. So we saw the Lions come out 5 wide every play in that first drive. And now they're looking a little more like the SAGU Lions that we know.
Only that was a gain. There was no gain. Typically you see Ricky Bickham come out and pick up a couple of yards. Instead you get it 2nd and 10. And again, it's only your 2nd drive, but you did not like the way that other drive went. It just ended so quickly with those drop passes and incompletions.
Collins back to pass, now rolling out to his right. Looking for Justin Allen. Justin Allen with the sliding attempt, can't bring it in. And this is going to bring up another long 3rd and 10 here for the Lions. Their offense is just looking out of sync right now.
It really is. I mean, they had the one good throw on the very first play of the game. Other than that, though, it's been drop passes, incompletions, not getting the separation they need. The one run they get sniffed out.
Now 3rd down.
3 minutes left here in the first quarter, and SAGU still kind of looking for their first big play of the game.
3rd and 10 as Bickham is in the backfield. Collins takes the snap. He's back to pass. Bickham in pass protection. Finds Justin Allen. It looks like he's going to be at the marker. They're going to mark him a yard short.
Impressive display by Justin Allen to hang on to that, but he is going to be just shy. That's close. It's closer than the spot he got, that's for sure. It's currently 4th and a long one. I think it should be 4th and half a yard. Either way, the Lions would be bringing the punt unit onto the field, I believe.
Maverick Montiel and that rugby-style punt now for the Lions, looking to pin the opponents deep. Here is Montiel. And he gets it up. It's a good one. Drawing it back, and he bobbles it, but he's able to recover. That was Trey Hawkins, and the Lions were all over that. Great punt by Montiel.
That was very impressive. Usually he kicks more of a line drive. This time, instead of the rugby-style kick, he runs out to his right and just booms it up into the air. It'll be the worst starting field position of the day so far for Lyon, taking over their own 24, and they did dodge a bullet there, muffing that punt. Had that bounced away, that would have been a huge break for the Lions. Now this defense, this is the time you need to come up with maybe a 3 and out. Really start to flip this field. Not let this run game keep pounding you down, because that's going to hurt you in the 4th quarter if you keep losing this battle.
Cody Jones pitches it out to his man that is a new running back this time for the Lions. And he's going to get brought down for no gain. That was Fabian.
There's a flag on the field at around the 27-yard line.
Fabian Buenrostro that time for the carry.
And it's going to be holding on the Scots. And you know what else happened in that play?
I saw a shoe go flying. Yeah, what it looked like.
That was yet again, what's the call?
It was holding on the offense. They're going to march him back 10 yards.
But that was Darnell Martin's shoe coming off, and one of the Scots players just grabbed it and threw it like 15 yards. Just, hey, here, go get it.
They're going to march him back to the 16. So it's going to be 1st and 18 now for Lyon.
The hold did occur around 2 yards off the line, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
They're going to do a quick screen out to the right side. The Lions pick it up, but not after a decent gain there on 1st down. Get it to about 3 yards, maybe short of that original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly what you want to do. Pick up 5 or 6 yards, get back to where you were, almost start the drive, get around the 22. So yeah, it's going to be 2nd and about 12.
With Rostro on the reception, the backup running back for the Scots.
And he had plenty of room once he caught it. SAGU did a good job of holding their ground to prevent that from being too big of a gain as we approach a minute to play here in the 1st quarter.
2nd and 12. Jones sends a man in motion again. That is Jaquez Parker. Jones now bobbles the snap, still back to pass. Looking at that far sideline, it's brought in out of bounds. Couldn't get his foot down was Shaka Robinson. And the Lions, fortunate that that pass wasn't completed.
Yeah, this is put pretty close to the money, and nice little leaping grab, but just maybe a little bit, led him a little bit too much. Otherwise, that'd have been a sideline grab, very close to a 1st down. Now it's a 3rd and long. Scots leading by 3 here in the waning moments of the 1st quarter.
He comes out with 4 wide, 2 on either side. And Rostro still in the backfield with Jones. A big 3rd down for the Lions defense. Sends a man in motion. He's back to pass. The pressure gets there immediately, and he is brought down. Another sack to end the drive by this SAGU defense. Darnell Martin looks to be the first man there.
They're probably going to split that between
Jordan Coleman and Darnell Martin.
Coleman and Martin, yeah, they really got there at the same time. But yeah, back-to-back drives. Facing 3rd and longs, the SAGU defensive line comes up big. And the Scots are getting ready to kick this, and they do have to punt into the wind one more time. The play clock is not in their favor if you're wondering why they're going to go ahead and punt here instead of letting the quarter end.
He bobbles a snap. It's almost blocked. Northie's going to come up and field it. Has to fall down to field this punt. And that's going to give the Lions field position just shy of the 40, past the 45. As we're not quite out of quarter number 1 yet, as there is 5 seconds left to play.
2nd time that C.J. Collins and the Lions offense will set up shop inside Scott's territory. The 1st time, it of course resulted in the missed 47-yard field goal. And we do have one more play pretty much here in the 1st quarter. And again, interesting to note, you have the wind at your back. Do you maybe try one more big shot into the wind? It's not as strong now, looking at the flags there in the west end zone as it was earlier in the game.
Collins with 3 out wide to his right. And he's going to dump it off to J.P. Lowry out of the backfield, brought down from behind for no gain. A good job to sniff that one out by Jacob Heinrich. And that's going to bring quarter number 1 to a close. The Lion Fighting Scots leading your SAGU Lions 3-0. But SAGU has the ball in Lion territory. So we'll see what they do with this offensive drive. They've not looked good on offense so far this game.
They just have not clicked at all. They, coming up short on the 3rd down on the last drive. Even on that play right there, that's one that you typically expect to get you some yardage, but Lowry unable to escape Heinrich. The blocking up front didn't give enough room. Looking at some stats here, rushing yards 0, of course. Lions with just 25 total yards. Just again, not a whole lot of action across the field. The Scots put up 64 yards. They do get 2 drives across midfield, but only get 3 points for it. Penalties, just one so far in this game. And honestly, if you're SAGU, you have to feel fortunate you're only down 3-0 right now, because Lyon was unable to convert on their first drive to get a touchdown, and on their second drive they crossed midfield, and that drive petered out. So this could be a 2-score game very easily. SAGU's offense needs to find some footing right here.
Collins in shotgun, Lowry to his left, 3 out wide to his left. He's back to pass, pumps, looking for Jeremy Carr, and Jeremy Carr can't bring it in. One of the most sure-handed receivers on this team can't haul in that pass. He was wide open.
Second big drop of the game. Yeah, this is a great route. CJ identifies him. That's an easy catch down for, what's going to be it's going to be first down at the 31-yard line. And they might need to get some glove warmers on the sideline, because these hands are ice right now with these drop passes.
Collins, same formation. Lowry in the backfield to his left, 3 out wide to his left as well. And he is back to pass, fakes it to Lowry. Plenty of time for Collins, looking for Carr, and Carr hauls this one in. The more difficult catch Jeremy Carr is able to haul in for a Lions first down.
Xavier Story is going to get caught out of position on this one. This is not going to be a great route or really a great throw. Throwing off his back foot, Xavier Story just kind of gets lost in all of the hubbub. Big completion on 3rd and 10 down to the 28-yard line.
SAGU comes out in shotgun again. CJ Collins still with Lowry. 3 out to his right. And he's going to hand it off. No, he's going to fake it and throw it to Roderick Brown. It looked like that was an option play. Could have handed it off to Lowry, but he elected to drop back and pass.
Yeah, hard to tell if it's an option or just a typical play action. Just a little bit too far out of Brown's reach and unable to haul that one in. So another one, that's not a full-fledged drop, but anytime it hits the receiver's hands, you'd love to see him bring it in.
Collins now still in the shotgun. Takes a snap, he's back to pass. Looking for Bryant Dotson. Dotson hauls it in. Dotson, who's had a good couple of weeks after not seeing him much in the first few games, has really stepped up and become a big target for Collins.
Yeah, just going to cut down the field, cut back inside. You got a man on the inside that forces the defenders to stay off of Dotson. They can't crash on him early. Nice job to haul that one in, even with 3 guys in your vicinity. And Dotson wasn't thinking about running. He just caught the ball, got down. That's what these guys need to start thinking right now, honestly. It's just start catching the ball and then think about what we're doing with it. If we're going to get hit or not, who cares? Let's just start with the little plays first.
The Lions now inside the red zone. Collins fakes the handoff again, finds Roderick Brown, who was very good after the catch, could not find any running room after the reception, and picks up about 3.
Yeah, he's going to make the initial cut here. It looked like he might have had a couple yards to gain, but he wasn't thrilled with what he saw, so he tried to back up, and there was nothing else there. It's just going to be a gain of 2 on the little kind of a screen pattern. One of the situations that, in hindsight, you kind of wish you'd just taken what the defense was giving you, but obviously you say Brown is so good with the ball in his hands, he's always thinking about breaking around the outside and making something big happen.
Collins takes a snap, hands it off to Lowry. Lowry bounces it to the outside, throws a stiff arm in the face of Xavier Story and carries him into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. J.P. Lowry giving SAGU the touchdown.
This is all J.P. Lowry. He gets the corner, but he is going to take on the defender, Xavier Story, at the 6-yard line. Story just one-on-one with Lowry, cannot win that battle. So the Lions offense goes 43 yards. J.P. Lowry caps it off with an 11-yard touchdown run. Now TH on for the extra point.
Snap is up, the hold is down. It is a good one, and TH puts the extra point through to put the Lions up 7-3, and that is a drive the Lions offense desperately needed. They had been shut down up to that point.
You had to have it, especially starting at your opponent's 43, the second time of the game, starting inside the 50. You couldn't afford to come away with no points twice on that one. That might be a little momentum surge the Lions needed in this one. It starts with the defense, though. Looking at another score update against Georgetown at the half, leading Campbellsville 17-16. And of course, if you're the Lions, you may not even know much about either of these teams, but you're always kind of rooting for the team ahead of you to go ahead and fall. Now, Campbellsville, is undefeated at number 20. They are the lowest ranked undefeated team right now. So they're looking for a big win against Georgetown at home today to try to, establish themselves. A lot of great top 20 action happening over the next 3 weeks. And we expect a top 20 game next week here at Lumpkins.
Absolutely.
But let me tell you something. SAGU's got to take big care of business here first. They won't be top 20 a week from now if they let this game go the wrong way.
TH elects to pooch it. We've seen him do that many times. It's fair catch called for and brought in by Titus Nelson.
Interesting move when you have your star running back to not go. You see, look here at the top 25. SAGU there at number 17. Langston, number 8. Number 1 team in the nation, St. Francis, unanimous votes at 8-0. And as we mentioned a moment ago, there's Campbellsville at number 20 at 6-0. Langston is, of course, currently taking on Oklahoma Panhandle State, who's just outside the top 25. If you expanded the rankings out to 30, they'd probably be around 27 or 28.
The Scots come out on offense. Back to pass, looking at the left side. It's brought in but tackled quickly by Xavier Pittman. And Lyon
gets a gain of 9, and a situation where I think the SAGU defenders are playing very off of the receivers. Of course, they put David Knight in motion up to the front again, and that's where winning that running attack really starts to help. You force the defenders to play off a little bit so they can try to get in and make the tackle if they're needed, and then you have a guy wide open for an easy 9-yard gain.
He sends Knight in motion again. Jones takes a snap, hands it off to Nelson, and Nelson is going to pick up the first down easily as he bowls over a Lions defender and moves the chains for the Scots.
There's a pretty big hole there. The first down was easy, and then the next few yards just a cherry on top. Up to the 43-yard line. Lions trying to make some changes here at the last second.
Bryce Bailey gets off the field just in time as Aiden Estrada is back out now for the Lions. 4 wide here for Jones. He's still going to hand it off. But this time, the Lions' defensive line led by Darnell Martin.
And this is some feast or famine right now with these battles. It's either all Lion winning up front or all SAGU winning up front. There's not many neutral plays. It's either a loss or a sack or a gain of 6 or 7. It's been very, very clear cut on each play who's winning. It'll be interesting to see who really starts to establish victory as the game goes on.
Correction, that is Marcus Rodriguez on the stop. 2nd and 10. Takes the snap, it's a low one, fields it at his feet, but he's looking out to his left side. And it's hauled in a fight for it between him and Malik Golden. That was Josh Abel again, who's got a bunch of touches here in the first half, but that's going to be brought down short of a first down.
And that's all Golden right here. He's going to be kind of off of the receiver when the catch is made. Meets him at the 49-yard line, just hangs on for dear life. He's able to pick up 2 more yards, but if he's able to break that, it's an easy first down. Instead, it's going to bring up 3rd and what looks to be a long 2.
Heavy set here for Lyon. You got to think they're going to go for it on 4th down if they don't get it. But they are going to get it. Nelson rumbling past the first down, brought down by Kobe Roach. And there's no secret to what they want to do there. They just succeed.
No misdirection. They put everybody up front. They run it right up the gut, and they just win the battle. You see all kinds of purple shirts lying on the ground there. And it's Roach who has to kind of make a touchdown-saving tackle there. It's one of those situations where you put everybody up front, so if you win that initial battle, you kind of just have some free space to run as he gets down to the 37-yard line, 38-yard line of the Lions.
Hendricks in motion, followed by Knight. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off again. Here is Nelson looking for some room up the middle, and he's going to fall forward. Another decent carry here on 4th down. First down rather. He's going to pick up 3 and get it to the Lion 35, the SAGU 35.
And that has been the key to their 3rd and 4th down conversions in this game so far, is when they've been makeable. When they've been 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 and beyond, that's when they've really struggled. They've had a lot of 3rd and shorts, and they trust their offensive line and their running game to win those big battles up front.
3 wide here for Jones. Nelson, he's going to go in motion. Look for him to go that way. He fakes, goes back to Hendricks, and the Lions were not ready for it. They bring him down just shy of the first down marker as Cody Jones found his tight end after the pump fake to Nelson, bringing up 3rd and short.
And it's possible that was the initial target, but the defender really coming in the quarterback's face forced him to turn around and maybe go to his second option. It works okay. As he's able to fight his way down, does a nice little cut up front there, does Jonathan Hendricks. And he's going to be just shy of the first down, 3rd and a very short one.
Here we see the heavy set again, handing it off to Nelson. And the initial push by the Scots offensive line, picking up that first down easily.
And a little bit more patience by Nelson on this one. He goes off tackle, and just look at that, just demolished that Lions offensive line down to the 23-yard line. The Scots definitely winning up front on this drive, imposing their will at the moment.
Here comes Cody Jones in the shotgun, sends Knight in motion. He takes the snap, it's a low one, and he hands it off to Nelson. This time Nelson cut down at the knees by Matt Leiter for a gain of 1.
And that low snap, we've seen it a couple of times, that slows the play down just enough that it gives Matt Leiter enough time to come around the edge, enough time for the Lions to kind of, seal up front. So you always want to make sure those snaps are on target, because that lost, even if it's just a quarter, half of a second, whatever it is, losing that and throwing the play out of rhythm can result in things going wrong.
4 wide now for Cody Jones in this offense. Takes the snap, he's going to hand it off again. Running right into his blockers that time was the backup, Fabian Buenrostro. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 for this Lion offense as we see Darnell Martin down in pain. He hops right back up, though, and he's running to the sidelines.
It looked like he was definitely in there on the tackle. His right arm kind of hanging loose. Might just be a shoulder stinger situation. Brings up a big 3rd and 6 here for the Scots. Their 3rd trip into SAGU territory, and boy, they really want to leave with a touchdown this time.
Jones in the shotgun still. Buenrostro in the backfield, 4 wide. He is back to pass. Dropping back, a deep drop. He's got to roll out to his left, looking in the corner of that end zone, but no room there. It is incomplete, and Lyon has to come out for another field goal attempt. The SAGU defense.
Just great coverage here. I mean, the offensive line getting nothing. Finally forced to go outside, and there's just nobody open. Nobody open at all.
The coverage has been there so far today for the Lions. It's that run game, that run defense that has to pick it up and make some stops here going forward in the rest of this game.
This will be a 36-yard attempt for the Scots.
The kick is up, and it is a strong one. It is good. Ignacio Gomez, 2 for 2 on the day.
And he cuts the lead to 7-6, so another impressive drive. Doesn't come away with 7, though. The Scots really wanted to get, obviously you want to get 7 on every drive. You felt like you really wanted to get it on that drive as you're at the midway point in the 2nd quarter now. But either way, they're doing a great job. Update out here, Langston is taking it to the Oakland Panhandle State Aggies at the moment, up 27-0, the number 8 team in the nation. Langston will be in here next week. So for the Lions, that's not what you want to see necessarily as you struggle with Lyon right now in the first quarter to look up in the Panhandle at a team that you were in a dogfight with last week, getting trounced by the team. And it's always week to week. You can't always just go off of whatever your opponent is, but of course you already knew Langston was going to be tough no matter what. But can't worry about Langston right now. It is all about this game because it is a 1-point lead. And I doubt you'll get as great a field position on this drive you had in the last one, so it still needs to be proved for this offense that they can put together some long drives in this game.
Gomez to kick. It's up, and it's a good one. A booming kick goes out of the back of the end zone over the head of Malik Golden.
And you can tell Golden was upset. He wanted a chance to return that. They had a good return early on. He was upset that one went in the end zone, just had to let it go. So they take over at the 25-yard line. 7:07 left here in the first half in what's definitely been surprising so far. A SAGU team that has mostly rolled through conference play. Last week was the first conference game that was even decided by one score, and that was the full 8, the biggest you can have and still be one score. They led by 16 in the fourth quarter. This one tight early on, Lyon being very pesky.
Collins in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Bickham. Bickham looked for some room up the middle. Can't find any. He picks up a yard. But the running game for the Lions, outside that touchdown by Lowry, really hasn't been able to find any room.
Yeah, the running game is definitely working for the Scots and not working for the Lions at the moment. And Bickham just gets no room to breathe on that one. He just kind of stumbles forward for 2 yards.
Carr, Brown, and Allen out to the left of C.J. Collins. Collins back to pass. Looking, finds his man, Roderick Brown, and he picks up a first down on a good pitch and catch from Collins to his favorite target, Roderick Brown. And now the Lions offense is starting to get a little momentum here.
That was what you want to see. Brown cutting up beyond the sticks where you know you're going to get a first down. Just a perfect throw from Collins. 2 defenders underneath, puts it where they can't possibly get to it. Brown hauls it in. And then again, just willing to kind of, you know, let that be the play. Don't try to turn and do something crazy and drop the ball.
1st and 10, Collins hands it off to Bickham, looking for some room to the outside. Tries to get past Xavier Story. Xavier Story makes a good tackle in the open field, but that's really the first good carry on the day by Bickham, is able to pick up 6, maybe 7.
And does a good job even after getting contacted of just fighting forward to get those extra yards after the contact. Yeah, but decent job by Story, because if Story doesn't get there and Bickham gets to that corner, he can be gone. 2nd and about 4.
Collins takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff and look for Roderick Brown. He finds him. That's going to be right at the marker. Will they give them enough for the first down? They will. They are going to move the chains, and the Lions pick up another first down here.
I'm not sure if Brown actually had it. I think he might have been around a half yard short, but he's been doing a good job since that early drop of setting himself up where he needs to be to get open, catching the ball. Again, sometimes you got to be willing to just catch the ball and be tackled.
1st and 10 as the Lions find themselves in Scott's territory. Collins out with some receivers stacked to the left side. He's going to look for Jeremy Allen. Allen getting bumped on the coverage by JoJo Peters, looking for a flag. He's not going to get it.
Yeah, Allen's going to be covered pretty well here. Be hard to see if there was actually anything worthy of pass interference. It's more just kind of running interference. Yeah, it's like you can interfere with the receiver and not be pass interference. You just don't let him come back into the middle of the field. I mean, we've seen the Lions do the same thing several times today on their solid coverage. I think it's just good coverage right there. Complete passes. We are at 5 minutes to play here in the first half.
2nd and 10, Collins back to pass. Gets it off, looking for Jeremy Carr, and it sails over his head, covered by Xavier Story. And here now at 3rd and 10, where the Lions have not done well today on 3rd and long situations.
Yeah, that's just going to leave Collins' hands way too high. No way the receiver's going to get a hold of that. And now, yeah, big 3rd and 10 with under 5 minutes to play in the half. You really want to find a way to get some points on the board. You don't want to risk giving it back to Lyon and go into the locker room potentially trailing. And now the Lions are going to have to use a timeout.
Might not be the worst decision here, as this feels like it's a big 3rd down. And you want to be able to get your play call in here. Take a little bit of extra time and figure out what you want to do.
Especially since you've kind of struggled in these situations so far in the game. And, you know, that's sometimes a danger with going with that big pass is, you know, you want to get the big play, but if you don't, these downs are precious. And if one of them goes away, all of a sudden one more completion and the drive can just die. We saw that in the very first drive, the drive that started with such promise, starting in good field position, getting one good play, then bang, 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 it's over. The drive's over as quick as that. So now you're in a tough spot, 3rd and 10. Here's the full scoreboard around plenty of the ranked teams. St. Francis rolled to an easy win today. Reinhardt, number 3, number 2. You see a lot of ranked teams all holding serve today at the moment. The Lions are holding serve at the moment on the scoreboard, but just by 1.
3rd and 10, they sent a man in motion. That is Roderick Brown. Collins now back to pass. Pumps. And now he's got to move around a little bit. He's going to try to tuck it and run, but there is the Scots defense. They come up and make the stop that was tailored to Bo. Able to step up and stop Collins for no gain, and SAGU is forced to punt.
And Collins, the line finally collapsed around him, never really gave him a chance at that point to look for any escaping receivers. They never had enough time to get to that second stage of, sometimes when you have a busted play to begin, somebody's able to get free. Never had time to get to that as the line finally collapses. So the 1-yard sack will end this Lions drive.
Maverick Montiel back to punt. They send a man in motion. They're going to fake it. Malik Golden around midfield. He fumbles the ball, and the Lions have to fall on it regardless. The Scots are going to take over with tremendous field position at about the 45-yard line. Call it the 44.
You like the guts there of trying to get something going when nothing else is happening. But the Scots never really fell for it. They were very quick on it. Golden never really had a shot. The fumble was irrelevant by the end right there. Yeah, his initial hit is at the 50-yard line. So they never really had much of a chance to pick up those full 11 yards. So the fake punt goes nowhere, and taking over at the 44-yard line with 4 minutes to play. The Scots are in business with a chance to take a lead into the half.
In motion is Knight. Jones hands it off to Nelson. Nelson looking for some running room, runs into Landon Jones, and he still hasn't gone down. Trying to move that pile for a gain of, we'll call it 5 yards, 4, maybe 5 yards here for Nelson.
And that's so impressive because, again, the initial contact's going to be at the 45-yard line. Just kept churning, and there was no pile to help him either. That is all on his own to push for those extra 3 yards. Setting up 2nd and 6.
One out wide here for Jones. It says Knight in motion. He's going to be back to pass, going to deep to that one receiver. Had a man wide open in the middle of the field, but elected to look the way of his receiver. He missed. Jonathan Hendricks past the safeties in the middle of the field, wide open for what would have been a touchdown, but went to his first option.
The Lions are going to catch a break there because Hendricks is streaking open. Instead he goes to, well, where Carl Morgan is playing, and Carl Morgan, again, not allowing an inch and just overthrows Jaquez Parker by a little bit, brings up 3rd and 6. Yeah, catching a break there on defense, as that could have been a 52-yard touchdown had he dropped it over the middle.
3rd and 6 here for Lyon. Jones in the shotgun. Back to pass, feels a low snap. The Lions bring some pressure. They're going to get there. The 3rd sack of the half for the SAGU defense. And they are taking advantage of these passing situations and getting to that quarterback.
All of those sacks happened on 3rd down, exactly when you need them. And this is just the whole line doing their job. Initial contact. Looks like
Paul Ellis again.
Looks like Paul Ellis. It's hard to even give credit when you get that big of a pile around. They almost split that sack 4 ways.
A quarter of a sack.
I don't think anybody would be happy with that. But they forced the punt after the fake punt for SAGU gave Lyon excellent field position.
Gets the punt off. Malik Golden giving pressure. A good punt. Fair catch called in for by Sam Northey. Brings it in at the 19. And the Lions have 2 timeouts here, about 2:20 left to go in the half.
They got plenty of time, 2 timeouts, 81 yards from the end zone. Interesting moment in this game as you've been unable to get anything to work here in the first half, but you have a chance to score and get the ball back. Another look in at Oklahoma Panhandle State. They have put some points on the board, so it's now 27-7, Langston over the Aggies. And the Lions, like I said, this feels pretty big. If you can go get some points and then get the ball to start the second half, get that double score situation, Be nice to, and you just got to get some momentum going.
Collins rolls out to his right. We haven't seen this work today, but this time finds Justin Allen on the rollout. Going to be just shy of a first down, but he gets out of bounds, keeping that clock stop.
Allen just keeps running on pace with CJ the whole way. Picks up about 8 yards.
They're going to call it 8. It's going to be a second
more like,
and long 3.
Yeah, 7 or 8, somewhere in that vicinity.
Collins now with J.P. Lowry in the backfield. Rolling out now to his left. Sets his feet, finds Justin Allen again, and he falls down. Does he get the first down? They're going to mark him at the 30. That's what he needs. It's going to be just shy. They actually move him back a yard.
It's interesting. I'm pretty sure this drive started at the 19, but the chains are at the 20 and 30. So
you're right. They were at the 19s.
The drive started at the 19, but the chains have been set at the 20 and 30. So the Lions get given a yard, but it actually kind of hurts them in the long run because
Collins back to pass, looking for Dotson. Quick hitter, and he finds him for the first down, and Dotson fighting for some more. Gets brought down at the 45. That's a good first down play, or a good third short play for the Lions offense.
Yeah, picks up the yards. The clock will stop on the first down. Now the clock re-rolls again as we approach 1:10 to play. Need to get some urgency here.
The clock is running. It's coming up on a minute to play. Collins claps his hands, trying to get his teammates set. Play action to Lowry, back to pass. He's looking deep into double coverage off the hands of Xavier Story, looking for Blaine Rowe, the freshman receiver, and overthrows him.
Yeah, never really had much of a chance on that one. That was overthrown coming out of CJ's hands. Just really trying to, and he had a man open under the middle there. That would have been a gain of probably around 8 or 9 yards, had a chance to get out of bounds, but he was really looking for the big play on that one. 54 seconds left to play. Ball at the 35-yard line.
Collins in the shotgun. Low snap, rolling out to his right now. Looking at the sideline, he finds his man, and he's brought down just.
But there is a flag on the field in the vicinity of offensive holding, and that'll effectively kill this drive.
Yep, and you can see it there from the guard position. It was indeed a hold, and it's going to go against the SAGU Lions as they march him back 10 yards.
Like I said, that drives you back to the 25, under a minute to play. Now you're thinking less in getting points and more in, ooh, it'd be really bad to make a big mistake at this point. As disappointing as this half has been for you, the worst thing you could do is end it on a colossal mistake.
The clock begins to run. 40 seconds to play.
And SAGU will,
first half.
And they'll be content just to let the clock run. Lyon only has 1 timeout, so they'll be unable to get the ball back no matter what happens.
Collins hands it off to Lowry. Lowry looking for some room, gets brought down by an ankle tackle by Stephen Benedict. And that should close the first half, as there's just about 15 seconds left.
Yeah, and CJ will walk towards the sideline, so that'll be it. Well, not the first half we probably expected, with the undefeated in conference Lions taking on the 1 win in conference Lion Scots. But it is what it is, and SAGU takes a slim 7-6 lead into the half. The offense has been unable to get anything going. The defense has really, you have to give them credit, only giving up 6 points, because they've been beaten pretty consistently on the line. So for them to be able to only walk away with 6 points given up, holding the Scots to field goals, very big. Gonna need to see a different SAGU offense coming out of that tunnel to start the second half, though, or else this is gonna be interesting the whole way.
Don't go anywhere. An exciting second half coming your way right here on the SAGU Sports Network.